Mr. Sala, I have made a discovery that you are going to find emotionally disturbing. I want you to be prepared for it.
Lieutenant Columbo is in violation of Suarian territory. Who's who, brah?
Alafa.
Yusuf, please come to the executive office right away.
Is there something wrong, sir?
I'll let you be the judge of that.
What happened, Hassan?
As security chief, I was hoping that you could tell me, Alafa.
Whoever did this must be working in the legation.
You are most astute, Alafa. Everything must be done with split-second precision, you understand?
Yes, sir, I will try.
Try, Rahman. Try. A child tries. A man accomplishes. You must succeed. Responsibility for the king's safety.
I'm sorry. Continue, sir. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Captain Columbo was supposed to be here.
And Captain
Got
August.
the names mixed up.
Captain August will be in charge of intelligence relative to the king's visit.
My compliments, Commissioner. Your security arrangements have obviously been well prepared and well thought out.
Listen to me. I had a call from the legation. Robbery and murder.
Every week.
Murder?
I checked downstairs. Maybe somebody saw them, either coming in or going out.
They got two gates, one front, one rear, and another one by the tennis court, padlocked. He could have come over the fence, but that's risky.
If he had gone down the stairs, the security guard would have seen him.
Must have been the window then.
Well, is that reasonable? That's quite a drop.
Well, if he could get on the roof.
Oh, on the roof, yeah.
That stuff on the floor that was burned, where did that come from?
The safe.
That's what I thought. He was the chief of security?
Yes.
New man on the job?
No, he'd had 15 years of experience.
What about the key to this padlock?
Oh, Yusuf, Mr. Alafa kept it on his person.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Just a second. Excuse me. It's cold and full. I like to work with questions. I write myself out these questions. Why did the security man enter the office?
I assume he heard the explosion and ran to see what happened.
If he heard the explosion and ran in to see what happened, why didn't he take out his gun?
Where was the gun?
In his holster, sir. He never even undid the flap. It means when he entered the office, he couldn't have been alarmed. Otherwise, he would have taken out the gun. A security man could only get hit by someone who didn't alarm him. Someone that he knew and trusted, someone who could catch him off guard. I have made a discovery that you are going to find emotionally disturbing. I want you to be prepared for that. Whoever did this knew the combination. The explosion caused plaster powder to come raining down from the ceiling. Small little particles of dust. And some of them fell on top of the ashes of the documents that had been removed from the safe. So obviously, sir, the documents had to be removed and burned prior to the explosion, otherwise there wouldn't have been any powder on top of them. I can account for everybody at the time of the murder except for this fella. How do you pronounce his name?
Rahman Habib has been a trusted employee of this legation for almost 11 years. I cannot believe he could be involved in such crimes. Rahman, do not concern yourself with American newspaper reporters. The plan is working perfectly. Arrangements have been made for the flight. I shall meet you in 1 hour.
The rendezvous we agreed on.
Yes. $10,000.
time of death between 8:30 and 10:30.
Gee, that doesn't look like broken glass to me. We're holding the $10,000 down at headquarters for a few days. In the meantime, I thought you might as well have these back.
This envelope contains certain material, which, in the wrong hands, could lead to the overthrow of my king.
Wow.
Rahman Habib was not only a thief, but a traitor as well.
He was wearing these when the police found him.
Well, that's hardly a revelation, Lieutenant. Habib was virtually helpless without them.
But as it turns out, sir, he was also wearing these.
What are they?
Contact lenses. And the fellows at the lab tell me that anybody wearing both these prescriptions at the same time be blind as a bat. He'd only been wearing them a week. His regular glasses he kept in his pocket as a backup.
There's been a complaint lodged against you by the Suarian legation.
A complaint of police harassment by First Secretary Hassan Salah. The feeling expressed to me is that you've been indulging in a personal vendetta.
Well, that's all very well and good, except for one thing.
What is that, Lieutenant?
He's the murderer.
Under the circumstances, let me suggest that a letter of apology be drafted by Lieutenant Columbo and sent with all due speed to the Suarian legation.
Is this the King's motor car? No? Must be Mr. Salah's car. No. Which one is his car?
None of them. His car in garage for repair.
I see.
Hey, Flip. It's quite all right here.
Yachil Malik.
Only the king. Lieutenant Columbo, how delightful to see you again.
If you do not leave the legation in 5 minutes, I shall see that you are removed from the Los Angeles Police Department.
I've solved the murder, sir.
What?
Not only did you rob the safe, but you killed Yosef Alafa and Rahman Habib.
That is a ludicrous accusation, Lieutenant. You seem to have forgotten that I was in the commissioner's office with you at the time Alafa was killed.
Prior to the safes being blown, which occurred at 4 o'clock, we know that somebody in the executive office opened the safe and was taking out money and running around the place burning up documents. Now, how could a security man call you on the telephone and calmly report to you at the same time that the safe was being looted?
Mr. Alafa was not in the executive office where the safe was. He telephoned me from his office.
I think you're lying. I don't believe he called you from his office because of a coffee cup.
A cup of coffee?
He brought the coffee into his office at 3:15 and never drank it. Why? Because he was called away and he never came back. That filled cup of cold coffee tells me that he could not have been in his office at the time of the telephone call. I'll tell you what happened. At 3:15, you called him into the executive office and you murdered him. He was dead before you left the legation.
At 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, our King Ahmed Kamal leaves for our capital in Swati. The moment that he leaves, Lieutenant, I shall initiate a formal protest to your government regarding this insulting and groundless accusation. Lieutenant Columbo is in violation of Suarian territory.
Oh, sir, just one thing I forgot. One more thing, sir.
What is it?
My official apology. I beg you not to send a letter to the State Department. I apologize, but more than anything else, sir, I want to shake your hand. You're the best. I know you did it, but, well, you can't win them all, sir.
You're very gracious, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
But let's face it, you never did have much of a case.
No, mostly it was circumstantial, I agree. Even the car being moved.
Moved?
Listen, I don't want to get into the whole thing because even if I could prove it, I couldn't touch you.
No.
It's because of the diplomatic immunity.
You could, but it would be difficult. You were talking about the car.
Yes, sir. You have the legation staff cars serviced at a gasoline station 3 blocks from here. I checked on that. The mechanic noticed that the car was moved the other night. That's how you were able to get to Canyon Road to meet Habib and kill him.
Did I?
I confirmed that this morning. They changed the oil late in the day, and the mileage was noted. but the next morning there were 34 additional miles. So I drove my own car from the gasoline station to the point that Habib had been killed and back to the gasoline station. It measured 34 miles.
Lieutenant, my compliments. Your persistence is simply not to be believed.
One thing I don't understand, sir, why did you do it?
Well, the struggle for power within my country is none of your concern, Lieutenant. This is one murder that must remain one of your failures. But do not despair, Lieutenant. Do not despair. You have unraveled the puzzle. Accept it and let it be.
I got the feeling that you wouldn't be so expansive, you wouldn't be so quick to admit all this if you didn't have diplomatic immunity.
Perhaps so, Lieutenant, but the fact is I do have diplomatic immunity.
Quite so, Hassan Salah. You saw the aircraft depart, huh? But it departed without me at the suggestion of my friend, Lieutenant Columbo. By tomorrow, Salah, you will be in Suari and subject to Suarian justice.
You wanted to arrest me earlier, Lieutenant. I hereby renounce my diplomatic immunity. I submit to your arrest.
This is an international thing. I don't want to make waves. Maybe justice would be better served back in Suari. Thank you very much, sir. Nice meeting you.
Likewise, Lieutenant.
This is not justice. This is barbarism. Lieutenant! I beg you.
The trouble, sir, is that you're right that it's all the evidence is circumstantial. It's just bits and pieces. I don't think any of it is going to stand up in court.
A confession. If I signed a confession.
Well, I'm not sure. Your Majesty?
I shall abide by your decision, Lieutenant.
Well, in that case, just signed by the Red X, sir. 3 copies, if you don't mind. You want to read it?
I'm sure I know what it says, Lieutenant.
Just one more thing.